600 is the second spinner that the company has launched in the US. This one is a little bit shorter and a little bit slimmer than the S710A, but as you can see, it's still quite thick. It has changeable faceplates so that you can customize the look and feel of the phone. Other than that, all that the company has done is add a loop antenna and these two additional gaming buttons up here, which when you hold the phone to use for games, you can use as A and B buttons. One of the nice things that Sony Ericsson did on their last spinner that they continued with on this one is that they kept a key lock switch, so that instead of having to use a key combination to lock and unlock the external keys, you actually can just flip this little switch to turn the key lock on and then turn it off again. A nice feature that they've added with this generation is that actually spinning the phone open takes the key lock off. So when we spin the phone open now, the key lock actually automatically turns off. As you can see, one of the problems with having a spinner that has controls on the faceplate is that you actually have to turn the phone over in your hand when spinning it opened or closed. It gets to be kind of difficult. You get used to it after a little while, but sometimes you just wish that you didn't have to keep flipping the phone over. You'll notice that one of the cool things Sony Ericsson added was an open effect, so that, yeah, listen to that nice noise. They actually included 3 different noises that you can select from when the phone opens, and honestly, all of them are just fantastic. One of the things you'll keep noticing is that the screen keeps blanking out on the phone. That's to save battery life, and let me tell you, this phone has unbelievable battery life. Because it's a spinner, and because it has external controls, you can use almost everything on the phone with it closed. Basically, you only need to open it up to, say, send a text or dial an actual phone number. However, honestly, we feel that the phone is more comfortable when you actually hold it open. You can see that it has a nice slim shape and it fits really well in your hand. It just sits nicely. The antenna being at the bottom never seems to be a problem. It's in the bottom of a lot of newer phones and reception is still really good. While Sony Ericsson's interface has always been very usable, it hasn't necessarily been fast. And this phone finally fixes that. As you can see, menus launch very quickly. It's easy to whip around them, and when you choose an application, it also works without any delays. Sony Ericsson kept a lot of the nice user interface tweaks that they've been adding throughout their phones. The one thing you'll notice they did eliminate was the More menu that used to be under the right soft button. What they've done now is change this to a shortcut menu that you access by hitting up on the D-pad. And as you'll see, instead of having very simple shortcuts like turn Bluetooth off and on, it's actually shortcuts to the applications or control panels. So in this case, it'll actually take you to the Bluetooth control panel instead of just taking you to turn Bluetooth on and off. One nice thing about this shortcut menu is that you can actually add your own shortcuts, so that if you want to continue to populate the menu with more things that you use often and actually need more than just the 4 D-pad shortcuts, you can add those in. Hitting left on the D-pad takes you to the new message menu, and as you can see, T9 is actually fairly fast on this phone. It'll keep up with you pretty much as fast as you can type, just as with their last generation of phones. This phone actually continues to use Sony's camera interface when in camera mode, as opposed to using some phone style interface. The phone is actually held horizontally like a camera. Only this button here works as the shutter button. The D-pad will not snap a picture, nor will any other button. if you take a picture at less than full resolution, you can actually use the volume up and down key as zoom. And you can see here that the interface looks almost like Sony's CyberShot cameras. The camera lens itself no longer has a lens cover, but is actually embedded pretty deep into the phone body. This prevents it from getting scratched. And honestly, it didn't even collect a lot of crud when in the pocket, which was kind of surprising and very nice. The camera itself is not as good as the S710 or the W800, but it does take decent pictures outdoors. It's just not too great in low light situations. But this is a W phone, and so the one piece of software that everybody cares about is the Walkman software. And it's actually pretty nice. You can load files very quickly just by plugging the phone into your computer's USB port and dragging audio files into the folder called Audio on the phone. The Walkman player will then read the ID3 tags for any MP3s and will automatically allow you to sort by that. You can see you can sort by artist and then album, or you can sort by track name. The PC software also allows you to create playlists when loading tracks onto the phone. The player is actually really nice, and as you can see, the speakers are very good. If you want to keep the music playing but use other features on the phone, all you need to do is hit the Walkman button once. The interface minimizes, you can see the little play icon, and then you can continue to use the phone while things are going. It's pretty impressive. And honestly, considering the fact that this phone gets over 4 days of battery life even when using it as a Walkman every day, you can easily see it replacing your daily needs for an iPod or Discman.